everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. It's great to be back home. I've been on vacation for a little while. My last couple of videos were definitely not up here in this room. I had one in the car, one actually on vacation down in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and thank you if you watched and enjoyed those videos. They were really fun for me to do. And I'm actually thinking of ways I can bring you beauty content, maybe not necessarily from this seat at home, but just some other ways we can do it. But anyways, it's great to be back. It is amazing always to get back to doing your makeup on your home turf. Like, I'm a sitting makeup get ready person. I like to sit down, take my time. I don't love standing in front of a bathroom mirror. That's not my favorite way to go, so it's good to be back. And in this video, I'd had this thought several times over the last week with certain things that I'd used on vacation. I thought, these things could really pass for high-end. And what does that mean? You know, I'm not saying these products are gonna like wear a little cloak and masquerade into a Nordstrom and pretend to be high-end. I'm saying, like, if you were using the product and maybe the label was totally covered up and you were only thinking about the formula and the way it was applying and the way it ended up looking on your skin, you might think, yeah, this feels high-end. This feels maybe above the level of whatever you've got in your head to be cheap makeup. So I wanted to talk about those things today. I think I've got about 10 different things. I was thinking about doing this like a get ready with me, but then I thought, I don't really have every piece of the puzzle for a full face. And sometimes I like doing get ready with me's with a theme. Sometimes everything really fits, but other times I feel like, well, maybe I'm just making something fit that wasn't naturally what I wanted to include. So I'm just going to talk about what I want to include in this video, the things that genuinely I feel come under this heading. And maybe it's not an all-inclusive list of everything I've ever tried that I feel this way about, but the things like I've been working with recently that I really have this takeaway with. So the first thing I'm going to mention is a really beautiful foundation formula, and it's kind of grown on me, I think, over time. I believe I liked it originally, but the more I use it, the more I realize, wow, this is really like a nice, juicy, and kind of advanced feeling foundation formula. And I'm talking about the Revlon Illuminance. It's the skin caring foundation with the 5% squalane and hyaluronic acid. Shade 213 in this, and I think I'm actually probably a shade or two darker at this time, but I'll very shortly talk about how I make the shade work. That's also involved in this video, but it's a really great foundation. When I think about Revlon foundations, my mind first goes to Color Stay, and I think about the amazing staying power in those foundations, nice coverage, but this, I feel like it does make me think skincare makeup hybrid. There is a beautiful coverage to it. There's a luminosity that I feel is kind of sneaky in this foundation. Hey, Betty. Betty's back in. Is it good to be home, Betty? No comment? I kind of miss vacation, too. It was nice to watch the Waltons together last night, though, wasn't it? Yeah. I'm just trying to get across, like, this has some radiance, but it's not cheesy. It's not, like, way over the top. Frankly, it seems more high-end than the new Charlotte Tilbury stick. I've worked with that. I've paired that very shimmery foundation stick with some different things, gotten a result I kind of like, but still not amazing staying power, still not an incredible look on the skin. This, I think, regardless of the state your skin might be in at the time, maybe you got some dryness, maybe you're just feeling dull, this amps it up. I really enjoy it, and it does last fairly well on me too. So I've got that on today. I alluded to the fact that it wasn't quite dark enough, and I have realized in playing with these Milani Conceal and Perfect Sun-Kissed liquid bronzing drops, the dark shade is just a whole other ballgame from the light shade. And maybe this is the most obvious thing I've ever said, but it's quite a bit darker, but also just in the way the formula is, there's way less shimmer. And I think it makes it an ideal mixer type of product with a foundation that you want to give just a little more depth to. And they're still really thin. They're very, I've got a kitten around my ankles here. Oh, hi, Bisky. Oh, they missed us so much. You could just tell they were so happy when we came home. Mom and Dad were like checking on the house and checking on them and giving them wet food and stuff, so they weren't all alone. But anyway, the dark shade in this, far less shimmer, a lot of pigment, still thin, still very easily blendable. I use this today both in with the foundation, just kind of dotting it on casually, no real rhyme or reason, but dotting it on alongside it, blending it all together. But then I also can use this as like a liquid bronzer, and I think it's really pretty in that way too, kind of reminding me of those drops from Physicians Formula. Those are a really beautiful product too. This just has a lot of depth. Again, the formula, very easy to work with, but lacking a real tacky looking shimmery sheen to the point where you're thinking, well, that might not look good on everybody because people don't like to highlight all the pores and stuff. Like, you look at what's shearing out here on my skin, not seeing a lot of shimmer. I mean, I'm maybe seeing a little bit, but I find it to be a much more, I don't know, realistic thing to work with on my skin than the light shade. And then the medium shade, I feel also is a little scaled back on shimmer from the light, but won't make the potential deepening impact that this one can have. So I think this is a really great formula, and it might be something a lot of people need this time of year. You know, you've been out in the sun, maybe you're self-tanning, and you just suddenly need your foundations to be a little bit darker than they are. I think this is a nice little trick. I really enjoy that. Oh man, the song I cannot get out of my head. I heard it like when we were in the car recently, and I don't know how I haven't latched onto this song before because it's not brand new, but Sam Hunt, Outskirts. Oh my gosh, I'm like obsessed with that song right now. I even found like a karaoke version on YouTube, and I'm like sitting there, I just played in the sandbox yesterday, I'm sitting there singing Outskirts. It's a really good song. I think Sam Hunt is actually a pretty good songwriter. But I was telling Bud the other day, like it's pretty sad too, and that's what kind of gets me about it. Like, it's one of those songs that hurts a little bit. You know, this guy is talking about the life he could have had and all the good things about it, and it just gets me. How it didn't get me till now, I'm not sure. But anyways, moving on, we're skipping a few steps into the routine, but I've got demos for pretty much all this. This particular powder foundation, I think, feels extremely luxurious, and I use it as kind of like a secret weapon for staying power in the summer months. I feel like it's very helpful. I can tell when I've used it and when I've not used it, okay? And it's the Maybelline Super Stay Hybrid Powder Foundation, shade 128 here for me. This is really rich feeling. So you put your finger into it. Oh, it's so soft. So much opaque color comes off on your finger. Can you tell how soft this is? It's real soft. And it really makes you think, oh, that's a powder foundation. That's in it for the coverage. Could you use it solo? Sure, this could be it for you if you want it to be, but I use it, gosh, really lightly. I can't explain how lightly I approach this stuff, but like, we are not digging in, we are just setting it lightly. That might even be too much. Set it, tap off, and dab it over your skin. I think I missed the clip where I freshly did it, so I like redid it for the camera after I'd already done bronzer. But dab it absolutely everywhere on the face. If you deal with sweat, if you deal with maybe a little oil control issue in the summer, this will help a lot. And I really do credit this product. I can tell when I've used it and when I haven't. I've been in testing phases with different foundations that I've used, or even skin tints, different things like that. Using them solo, not setting them hardly at all, seeing how they work, and then thinking, okay, I know what I'll add to that. Next go round, add this. Works much better. Definitely a good partner for those lightweight tinted moisturizer types of things where you put them on, you love your level of moisture, you really do like the radiance, but you need a little setting. You don't want to feel so sticky. Put some of this on, it makes a difference. And the formula, I mean, whoever touches that would have to think, that could be something really expensive. Like, they did a great job making this rich, making this soft. Pace yourself a little bit if you are topping off another foundation, but it can work wonders. Here's another thing, and this is probably one of the cheapest things I'm going to mention. These blushes are outstanding. These Maxi blushes from Rimmel. Any of them that you can get your hands on are really good, but these have been like my summer favorites. Wild Card, this is a totally matte, soft red. This was in the strawberry video. It completely suits that vibe, but it's a matte blush. Looks beautiful going on. Like, I love the flush that this gives. It is pigmented, but it's manageable. But definitely, I mean, to touch it, there's a soft feel. There's a really luxurious texture to that that's not chalky. It's really pure pigment vibes, and it makes me think of a high-end product. And I also like the shade Third Base. Sometimes I wear it alone, sometimes paired with this one. I think those two just look really good because Third Base is a different finish. It's got a little sheen. It's that soft peachiness. If I hold it dead onto the camera, you're thinking, how's that going to show it all? It's got some peachiness and a little bit of like a golden glimmer in there. The takeaway on the skin is kind of like Milani Luminoso, but less glowy. But like I said, still has some sheen, and I think it makes a good partner with that one. So really luxurious feeling, nice powder formulas. Some people really still want to stick with the powders, you know. I know the trend is toward creams, and I did a whole video on new cream blushes. But if you are really struggling with staying power and you're layering cream or liquid foundation with a cream bronzer on top and a cream blush and a cream highlight, there may be reasons why things are breaking down. Maybe swap out a couple of those steps with a powder and you'll have better luck. Next thing, I know I've used this a lot on my channel, but this is awesome, and I think this is sort of a trailblazing product. This is good, and I know Benefit's got one too, but this is every bit as good as Benefit's, and it's the CoverGirl brow liner, the nano pencil from the Clean Fresh Brow line. And at first I liked it, but now I love it, and I've just realized why. It's so pinpointed. The tip is so fine, so finer than a Brow Wiz. And I feel like I get my brows done faster this way because I can really easily pinpoint that one spot, you know, that needs filled in, that one little area over the scar that needs a little extra attention. Whereas with a thicker pencil, you think, well, I'll get the job done faster. It's a wider pencil. But not necessarily, because are you ever really hitting the area that needs to be hit? Because I've got, you know, a decent amount of hair there. I need to be able to get in. This is a very specific thing, but I need to get through the hair to get those few areas that really need the fill in. And then I feel like I'm doing less work overall and faster work as a whole. So like I said, Benefit has put out a very skinny brow pencil that goes even finer than their Precisely My Brow Pencil. But I think we're going to see more brands getting super skinny with it. And in the drugstore, this is kind of like the thing like that. And the formula is nice too. It's not too dry. What makes a pencil feel cheap to me is when it's way too dry. When you have to rake over things lots of times. It's like, I won't, give me the pigment, but also don't make it too soft where it feels like it's melting away on the skin. Showing too much color at once and then becomes a product you've run out of in a week. Don't give me that either. But it seems cheap somehow if it's too dry. This is right on the money with the formula in a really good shape. If you've got a brow with a decent amount of existing hair, or if you've got the situation where you want those strokes to seem so hair-like, maybe you are recreating like an inner corner or something, it's just very, very fine, and it can do that for you. Another eye thing that's just really got me going lately, kind of gotten me back on some liquid liner, got into it with my Milani video that I did a couple weeks back. It's the Milani Stay Put Tank eyeliner. I like that they put the word tank in there, but it's got some kind of a little tank. The way the storage is done in the tube, it keeps the product from drying out so fast. I've been using the brown, and I'm kind of thinking like, oh, it's softer than black. It's a real dark brown. I've got it across my upper lash line, but it does go on with a lot of ease. I really like the shape of the tip. It is a marker, not a brush tip. And for a while I thought, you know, brush tips are just the one way to go with this stuff, but this is a very good marker tip. Here's why it seems so expensive, so well thought out. Just the right amount of flexibility right at the tippy tip of this to make it go across the eye so easily. And it's really a one swipe process. You're not going back, you're not building up. You know, I've used this quite a bit recently. It still seems just as fresh as the first time. The capping is really nice and tight. It's a Korean made product. K-Beauty understands liners. That's where Milani goes to make their eyeliners. And I think this is a really fabulous one. And it's every bit as good as any of my high-end liner pens that I have on hand, if not better. Like I said, they were so smart about the creation of that tip, because the tip is everything. The tip of your liner pen makes or breaks the process. It makes it either something where you're slaving over it, where you mess up easily, or where it just lays down perfectly. And this lays down so well, so tight to the lash line. From a distance, I don't know if you even think I'm wearing eyeliner. I didn't do any like big wing or anything really pronounced with it, but I've got that definition next to my lash line in a really natural way, and it was easy for me to get there. Oh gosh, I skipped something. I skipped the eyeshadow thing that I wanted to talk about. This for sure feels really high end, and it really follows the trend people are going for with natural eyeshadows, reaching for those palettes like the All Mattes by Mario or the All Matte by Patrick Ta, going for shadow looks that seem kind of barely there, but yet you've done something, you've kind of contoured your eye. This one from e.l.f., this nude All Matte eyeshadow palette, here's why it's important. Really good formulas that feel just so soft. Like, they did an excellent job with those formulas. Look at those 3 shades that you could be using all the time together. I still have a finger that's stained with red. Made some drinks for the girls last night. Totally could pass for high-end matte eyeshadow formulas here, but also what they've done so well is a really tight gradient between these colors. So seeing this string of shades, especially right in here, and noting how none of them are too far off from the next shade, that is the thing in a palette that makes blending seem really professionally done. When you're not taking one shade from over here and then one shade from this end of the spectrum and trying to pull the look together. I mean, can it be done? Sure, but it can be done much more easily when you're going from this, blending out with this, deepening up with this. My look today came together so easily, and it can look so well blended and so natural if that is the look you're really wanting. Super natural, super blended. This is the way to go. And I have those pricier palettes, my friends, and I can use this and think, I think I might be even happier with this one. Just because I really like those tones. There's kind of a rosiness running through, especially this shade, and then the peachiness that it blends into, and kind of rosy brown coming through, mauve-y brown almost in those. They've made some unique choices in here too that I think also makes it feel kind of luxurious. Like, yeah, they're basic shades, but I'm not seeing those exact shades everywhere. Next up, I've got a mascara pick here that I think is doing a lot of things right. I really liked it from my first go round, and I also think it's kind of getting better the more I use it. It's the Maybelline Lash Sensational Firework. Here's why this product has got it going on. Okay, I take this brush out. It's got a lot of bristles. A lot of short rubber bristles. It's got flexibility on the wand. Is that so important? I'm not even sure about that. But the most important thing is that this does not come off completely cleaned off. I can see product hanging out in there between some of those little spokes on the wheel. You know, I can see chunks of product. And what that lets it do is build on your lashes a little bit quicker, but in a little more bulky way. I feel like I do get good length with this, but I can really get some thickness, and it doesn't take me a million coats to get there. The flaw in a lot of mascaras these days is that they're coming out of the tube too cleaned off. And I maybe have known this to be a flaw, but like haven't fully come to the realization or haven't verbalized it, but I think that's what's wrong. I think that's the difference between me thinking a mascara is just okay and thinking a mascara is great, is if it comes off with a little bit of bulk on the wand so I can really get going with it. The more times you take passes through lashes that don't want to curl, the worse off you are, because you're just going to be dragging it down, lessening the curl. But if you can fairly quickly build them up, that's what you want. That's what this helps you do. Hello. Look at this stuffy that Biddy got as her souvenir on vacation. This is a thing that they're making. These little small head animals. Look at this.
Tiny-headed kingdom.
Tiny-headed kingdom?
This is heat.
This is the kind of thing Biddy sees and thinks, I need that. That's my special thing from this trip. Goodbye. So does this feel high-end? I guess it's kind of like what I'm wanting to see out of any mascara on any level, is just let a little bit more come out on the wand. Don't clean everything away right away. Okay, we got a few different lip things to discuss here. First ones, I'll just go ahead and shout those out because I've worn them in recent videos. One of them's a long wear. I've been loving this. I used it in my vacation Get Ready With Me. It's the Rimmel Provoca Lips. It's a great formula. I'm rediscovering the formula. I already knew this was great, but I'm rediscovering it in a really good shade called Summer Lovin'. It's so good. It's that nice little dusty rose nude, but the top coat on this stuff, so you put on the first coat, let it dry. The top coat is where it's at, because it does look expensive. It does not look like, oh, I just put on this super loud shiny coat. It just looks rich. It feels like liquid lip balm vibes. It feels like a thicker take on Vaseline. It gives your longwear liquid lipstick a cream-like finish and look. The feel is absolutely richness. Not like, oh, I just put on a shiny gloss, here's my shiny gloss lips, but like, wow. Not only have I topped off that liquid lip, but it is nourishing feeling, you know, and that's why I think it feels more expensive than it is. I'm finding a better stock of these, by the way, in my Walmart store these days. That's why I ran into this. And the other thing that's been a really good, really good product here in a beautiful shade, this Pretty Smart, that's the new line at Walmart. Check out my full video. Liquid Lip and Cheek Stain in the shade shade called Blossom. And why I think this is special, it's like a creamy stain, okay? The color is not like sheer liquid Benetint, it's creamy, and it does blend into the cheeks really well. Really easy to work with, but looks really fresh on the lips as well. Definitely giving you that monochromatic kind of strawberry look, but I think they did an awesome job with that formula. It kind of gets you to the result of Benetint faster. Benetint, you might be putting it on, being like, okay, it's real sheer and light, I'll build up a little more, I feel like I'm working with pure liquid here. This is just a little bit easier to spot it on, blend it out, get the result. Really well made product, and definitely like the thing from this line that has me wanting to try more shades of what they have to offer. And the last thing, we got a mini try on here, Hard Candy. Hard Candy has expanded their little Glosstopia range. You know, the Glosstopias are packaged like this. They've got those balls on top. And what first came out were basically transparent kind of lip oil products. Well, now they're calling these Lip Slide Creamy Lip Oil. They've given them pigment. And do they still have that lightweight feel on the lips? Yes. Kind of slippery at first? Yes. Almost something I think might not appeal to me? Yes. But the color is truly so good, not streaky at all, and as you wear it, like, I truly think it becomes a little more one with the lips and not quite so wet feeling. I've been wearing one of these shades throughout the whole video. It's this one, the one called Ruby Rush. First off, packaging is dynamite. This does feel like something high-end. Those balls on top, like, yes. What is appealing about a ball? You see these balls, you just think, yeah. But all of these shades that they put out are really good, and in the PR package where this came, they noted how, you know, you can start off with your lip liner, then you can put this on. Then they even threw in this clear gloss, like you would need more shine over top, which I don't think is even necessary. These are a pretty good one and done product. But we got this shade called Sugar Spin, and this is going to be your nude. And what makes it feel really high end to me is how it can go on and really not look streaky. You're getting a light moisturization, like it's thin. I would almost call it greasy, but yet as I just continue to wear it just a little while, I don't really have that same feel. You're getting the thinness of lip oil, but with really nice color. And what's great about especially the two deepest shades is they blot off, as you'll see. You can lose some shine and have really pretty color left behind. I even like this one. I wasn't sure I was gonna like it just by the looks of it, but Pink Play. I think this is super pretty. It's also pretty paired with various lip liners. Like, it shears out quite a bit from what you see actually in the tube, but I think that's very fresh and a really lovely shade. And then loving the red option. Again, Ruby Rush, I've been wearing it throughout the video, but you pop that on and it's like, wow, it doesn't take a lot of this. You can kind of put some on the lower lip, blot it toward the top lip, smooth and even it out, and you've got a really beautiful look. And then look at the immediate blot you can do. Dab over it with the Kleenex. I'm kind of like expediting the wear down process here, and it looks so pretty underneath. It really does wear a while with that soft look, and it looks so natural, so pretty. And then an awesome berry color here. This one's called Berry Bounce. I think this is going to be so good in the fall. I'll wear it anytime, you know me, but this is just a beautiful berry shade. I like the amount of richness, but again, I like how it looks with wear as well. I think Hard Candy is doing a fantastic job with so many things, and I think those are a really cool release. And again, if you want to change the look of any of those, they do double up really nicely, especially these lightest two. If you consider pairing those with any number of kind of light, neutral, nudish lip liners that Hard Candy also makes, or any brand makes, I think you'll enjoy the way these look over top of that. But guys, that pretty much wraps up my video today, my roundup of some things where they're drugstore products, they're really nicely priced products, but they have a high-end feel. They could really pass for something more expensive, and I enjoy that. I love running into products that make me feel that way, and truthfully, I think there's a lot of that in the drugstore, even more than what I've talked about now. Like, we'd be here on an all-day live or something if I was talking about every single thing that I could feel this way about. Those are just kind of some of the things I've been using lately that I've had that idea about. So thank you so much for your time today, everyone. Thanks for being back home with me, and I will see you all again very soon. I love you. Bye.